Right. A lovely welcome to over in Italy. Valerio Lysander, hello. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm good. I'm good.
Great to have you on. So,
Thanks for
how
having me.
how are things for you? How is it over there?
It's good. It's as everywhere else, I guess. Stuck at home and not a lot of music. And like I'm only like lately sort of like for the first few months of lockdown. I mean, of this Corona thing. I was quite okay. I was, quite optimistic and everything. I think the last couple of months really got to me.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, floating.
Floating around. How long have you been over there for? Because you were in London before, right?
I was in London until October, and then basically I came back for 5 days. Um, and then I was like the situation of with COVID wasn't getting any better in London. It was much worse than in Italy at the time.
Hmm.
So I thought I'd stay just for another couple of weeks, and then it was a couple of months. And I just asked my flatmate to send me all my stuff. Basically, I didn't come back to London because obviously then you got into lockdown and stuff.
Hmm.
So um, yeah, so I came for 5 days and stayed, and then we'll see when I'll come back.
Is the
If
plan to, yeah, is the plan to come back, or do you think there's a change?
I don't know for now, so because I'm from Rome, but now I'm living in Milan.
Okay.
So I think I'll try this out for a while, and then. But the idea was always to sort of come back to London every now and then, anyway. But yeah, I mean, who knows what the world will look like after this? So
Indeed.
I'm open to possibilities.
Oh yeah. Well, I think that's the way we have to be, right?
Yeah,
So, for those that maybe don't know you and your music, can you tell us a little bit about your musical journey up to this point?
sure. Yeah, so basically, I started it quite late, like around 15, 16. I started taking piano lessons and singing lessons. And I wanted to be a dancer before that, but my dad said that I couldn't be a ballet dancer. So somehow I had to change my dreams. And then I started, with music quite late. And started writing really shitty songs. But then by when I was like sort of around 20, I wrote my first few good songs, and I had a band in Italy. And then after a couple of years, I decided, because I was writing in English, so I decided to go to London. Like my big dream was to go to New York, but obviously not really easy to get there. So I thought I'm just gonna go to London for like a few months to learn English, and then I stayed for 8 years basically. Um, and yeah, I recorded my first EP there in 2014, and I was like I got like quite a few. Uh, like I ticked some boxes
Yeah.
from a list there, including like playing for in Trafalgar Square for Gay Pride in 2017. That
Amazing.
was like quite big, like to play in front of like 10,000 people. That was probably like one of the uh, I don't know, brightest moments of my
Yeah, that's really
life.
cool.
Um,
How did that come about?
um,
How did the Pride gig happen?
I I entered Pride's Got Talent, which
Ah,
is his
yes.
competition based in London, obviously, which is basically to get to like the 10 finalists of Pride's Got Talent get to play in Trafalgar Square. And I was one of the finalists, so that was it. And yeah, in the same year, I recorded a full length album, and a few of the song, a few songs from that album got played on BBC, which was quite cool. And in the meantime, I was like playing all over Europe, doing so far sounds gigs
Yeah.
and just general gigs. Um,
So so
and
so far sound gigs. Can you tell us a little bit about them for people that might not know what they are?
yes, yeah. So far sounds is a like really cool concept that started out in London, and then it's now I think in all continents, if I'm
Mm,
not wrong. Um, and it's basically the idea is that they do secret gigs in like weird locations that could be like a living room or I played in the basement of a kebab shop once or I played in a bike shop so like and there's usually no equipment so no microphones no speakers and the audience is sitting on the floor so like the vibe is very intimate.
mm,
Although I played so far sound shows for like 400 people, so it doesn't have to be small,
yeah.
but there's like this connect. There's no when you have a mic in front of you, there's that's some sort of barrier between you and who's listening but the way they are shaped it just makes the connection between audience and performer so much so direct and yeah I think that like even though playing in Trafalgar Square was super cool and was like a shot um I think so far sounds gigs are sort of where like I got the best experience in
Yeah.
terms of like connection and yeah so
Yeah, definitely. I guess the audience is really they know what they're coming to as well, and they really are there to see, maybe
yeah
unsigned artists or
exactly
new artists, and like are there to listen. I think is really
yeah
important.
exactly actually they don't know what they're going to like they
Right.
know they're going to listen to music but they don't know who is going to be there so
Mm,
it's obviously music lovers otherwise you wouldn't just go to a
yeah.
gig of yeah so it's
It's a
yeah so
room full of a good audience, I think.
yeah, yeah, definitely. It's a lovely experience as a performer and as audience as well.
Mm. Ah, that's really cool. Well, do you know, I had last week I had Esther Turner on, and I was saying to her that
Oh
the
yeah.
first time I met her was actually the first time that I met you, and you might not remember, but it was in South Bank at in the ballroom, and it was bar whatever. We're putting on something. This was
Whatever.
a couple of years ago, and it was like a
Yes, yes.
queer festival or something. So I was just helping
Yeah,
out,
yeah.
like kind of backstage, but you were one of the performers along with Esther and some other folks as well. But yeah, and, so
Yeah, yeah.
that's where I could. I saw you do some live stuff first, but so how has it been in terms of finding that community then in London? I mean, you stuck there for eight years or more, so obviously you've managed to
Yeah.
find your feeting.
Yeah, it was. I think that was that was the most special thing about it. That like for the first couple of years, I was working. I had like a daytime job, and then doing music in the evening when I didn't feel too tired. So I lived the first few years on my own. So organizing my gigs, and I would go to my gig, and it's when I started doing open mics that I really. You start meeting people and basically my friends which was something that never happened in my life all my friends were music not all but most of my friends were musicians so you share a common goal and you inspire each other and um, if you're sad they know what you're going through
Yeah,
like you just get what what you're feeling well about music at least so definitely the open mic scene in London was it's like the most special thing about for like independent musicians and it's definitely what gave me the power to overtake from like to like when I was frustrated to just keep going and just being inspired by people and who share the same struggles you have and
yeah.
yeah so definitely that was the best thing about it.
Yeah, that's really important to find those people who can kind of yeah, support you and know exactly exactly what it is that you're doing. And I've seen in quite a lot of your music videos, you have like other artists as well. Are they the
Yeah.
people that you've kind of played with and have gotten to know over the time as well?
Yeah, actually, Esther is in one of my videos as well,
Yeah.
and yeah, they're mainly actually. I'm just trying to think, but I think most of them are musicians,
Mm,
and like we were just like doing things for each other, and like I would be in their videos, and then they would be in mine,
yeah.
sort of thing. Yeah, that's it's obviously easier for people who are used to be on a stage to say
Mm.
yes when asked to be on
Yeah,
front.
exactly. Let's talk about a little bit about music videos while we're talking about it. So what in your mind, what makes a good music video? What do you like to do in your music videos as well?
Oh, um, so I've always like when I started, I always thought of low budget first. So simple,
Yeah,
simple idea with no props, like really simple, concepts, um, and a good camera, and a good person behind the camera always helps. And most of my videos I made with my friend Max from Go Out of Tune that
yes.
you
We
also
were chatting about Max as well because so Max did one of my music videos also. So
yeah,
we
yeah,
we know
which I
Max.
loved
We love
actually.
Max.
Yes,
Thank you.
exactly. Yeah. Um, so he's really good at because we were also flatmates for a while, so up until October. Um, so he was really good at like I would have an idea, and he's really good at taking the idea and making it possible
Yeah.
with the simple like yeah, with low budget and like not
Mm,
too much fuss and short time,
yeah.
um, so that was my concept most of the time, and yeah, just like cool visuals without like big productions, and but with some sort of meaning and sort of impactful on an emotional level.
Mm.
So that's what I always try to
Yeah, oh,
achieve.
definitely.
Like,
Oh, you've got some really, really beautiful videos as well. So yeah, I think you definitely have. Um, and how about your writing process then? So with your songs, where how does that all come together? I have to say, I'm a huge fan of all your music. I think it's
thank
like
you.
really, really lovely, and your voice is so awesome as well. I'll get that bit out of the
Thank
way. Big fan. Yeah, like yeah. How what is your process in creating?
Um, it used to be, I don't know, it sort of changed through the years. Um, when music wasn't my main, like when music wasn't my job, I, I, I sort of felt like it was like my way to process my feelings. So I would just sit at the piano with a feeling, and I would just like play some keys random, and just say some random words, and that would like without an intention and sort of stream of consciousness kind of thing. Then I would later add the dots, like link the dots.
Yeah.
uh, so that's sort of how I prefer it. um yeah, so there's just like using the piano as a support, and just uh, a bit like random
Mm.
say stuff. Um,
And
I've
do you have
tried doing the opposite. So coming, yeah, sorry.
no no? Carry on, carry on.
Yeah, I tried doing the opposite, like coming from lyrics to music and from music to lyrics, but I find that really difficult. I find that just like it's really easier for me to just do it all at once
Right.
without a purpose. When I try to think, oh, I want to write a song about this, it it's always really hard.
Mm. Yeah, yeah.
Um,
It's interesting because some people do kind of switch, I guess, between those different methods. But yeah, I guess
yeah.
for some, it's finding the one that works for you, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, I was going to ask you, so in terms of then like pulling that together into like an album, um, is there, did you already know a kind of thread of like a story that you want to tell in terms of creating an album, or do they kind of come together a bit more naturally also?
I guess both. So for my first EP was just like 5 songs put together. um,
Flatmate just came in.
Yeah, so my first EP was just 5 songs together. I didn't, yeah, it was just like a way to showcase what I could do. But my first album, um, I sort of had an idea of what songs I wanted in it, and then I tried to find a common theme that would put them all together, and then I added some more songs to that core of songs. And the thread was the moths to the flame. So
Yeah,
the idea that we all struggle to reach, like the moth that burns because of the flame, because of the love of the light, then it gets burned. So that was the sort of idea, and and now I'm recording now for a new album. It's going really slow because like it's really hard to get inspired and like to get myself in front of a computer and a mic,
yeah,
like in times. But um, and I think it's going to be all about vulnerability and sort of opening up, showing what the reality of a person that might be me in some cases, but not only. Um, so with that it's not that scary to actually show who you really are. I guess that's
great. And
uh,
will it be similar kind of sound as before as well, or any differences?
yes. There's going to be a lot of orchestral instruments.
Great.
I'm also trying to get a bit more like to give it like an electronic kind of
Nice.
feel, but only like very tiny
Hmm.
details. So the main thing it's always the chamber pop and
Yeah,
yeah.
great. And so we're going to hear a couple of your previous songs on the show. So we're going to hear Harbor, which was your last single. Can you
Yes.
tell us a little bit about Harbor?
Yes. So I released that in March, and there was a video that comes with it that was shot in Venice because harbor, and there's all like metaphors with water in the song. So I thought Venice could be a cool place to to do that.
Ideal,
Um,
ideal spot.
yeah. And the song actually is about vulnerability and like I basically wrote it about the morning that my mom died, and basically she was obviously in Italy. I was in London, and I received the call, and I kept it all inside until for like a couple of hours until my flatmate woke up. And when she woke up, like we were very close, and we still are actually. And I just like started crying in front of her, and I never used to cry. Like I'm starting to learn now, but I never cried. So that was like big for me to like show my tears to
Mm,
someone. And basically, the song is about that, about like trusting that people like trusting people with holding your feelings, and just uh, yeah, just welcoming you when you need it, I
yeah,
guess.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that's lovely. Well, and yeah, what a lovely kind of tribute as well to that, to a really emotional experience. So, thank you for
Yeah.
sharing. Um, and we're also going to hear a live version of one of your tracks, Cotton, as well.
Yes.
One of my favorite ones. Tell us a little bit about tell us about this song. This is the
Yes.
one with the video with the paint, right?
Yes. So the naked people.
Naked people paint. I remember that
Yes.
one.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, so that one I wrote actually before coming to London. It took me like a few years actually to finish it, and I actually finished it in London, but started like 2 or 3 years before um, that. And yeah, I wrote it. I was in therapy at the time, and I was struggling with a very peculiar um, feeling. I don't know if many people share this, but I was really struggling with the fact that I felt like I was different people inside me, and that like, but I couldn't, like, as in like I was a musician, but I was also a linguist and a friend and someone who likes nature and but also cities. And I don't know, like it's really hard to remember. It was like very specific at the time, and basically the song came up in a therapy session, the idea of the song.
Hmm.
And basically the song is about like, yeah, accepting that you can be many different things, like a cotton thread that can have many different shapes, but it's still a cotton thread.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh,
so
cool.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, I totally kind of understand that feeling for sure. I think, and I maybe something about being creative people as well. You have so many different hats at different points, and sort of feel that you're different people to different people. I certainly definitely feel
yeah,
that. So,
yeah, definitely.
um, oh, great. Yeah. Well, that's really nice to have a bit of insight into that song as well. Um, well, thank you so much for coming to chat to me. We look forward to playing them. Hopefully, more people get to listen as well. And exciting to hear about new music in the works as well. Do you know yet when the next things will be released, or is that still uncertain?
I am not sure because I've always released stuff just like on a whim, and now I'm trying to do things more properly. So yeah, I don't. I have like a few songs ready with a couple of videos ready as well, but I'm waiting for the right time.
Okay.
So hopefully maybe this year, but I really don't know.
Hey,
It's
you know, it's
like
been a
this
lot in this last
uncertainty.
year. Let's not pressure ourselves.
Exactly. Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for coming to chat to me, Valerio. And uh,
Thank you for having me.
yeah, hopefully see you in some point in London again. If not, somewhere else in
Yeah.
Europe, that's fine too.
Yeah. Come visit.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much.